Hi everyone, here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9.
The Attorney General says the Justice Department will now get involved investigating the election after President Trump alleges fraud. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington, plus the latest on the transition coming up.
Plus, a record number of COVID-19 cases in the area has some Joplin leaders and residents thinking about another mask ordinance.
As we move into the holiday season, 2 local communities are finding a way to hold their Christmas parades during a pandemic. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
Zach looking good in that hat. Chris Warner is weather. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. President Trump and his legal team are continuing to challenge the voting results from the presidential election. Members of Congress on both sides of the aisle, meanwhile, are reacting to the decision. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has the latest from D.C.
President Trump says the election is not over, and he's demanding answers to his claims of voting irregularities in battleground states.
This election is not over. Far from it.
President Trump and his advisors say no concession is coming before they exhaust every legal option. And they say in Pennsylvania, in-person voters were held to a different identity verification standard than mail-in voters.
President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
Now the Attorney General says the Justice Department is stepping in a memo writing, while serious allegations should be handled with great care, specious, speculative, fanciful, or far-fetched claims should not be a basis for initiating federal inquiries. Critics say there is not significant evidence to change the election.
Joe Biden won this election fair and square. The margins of his victory are growing by the day.
On Monday, President-elect Joe Biden announced his COVID-19 task force. He said it will be led by scientists and health experts.
This group will advise on detailed plans built on a bedrock of science and to keep compassion, empathy, and care for every American at its core.
Already there is some dispute with the transition. The government agency in charge of helping the next administration has not acknowledged Joe Biden as the president-elect. A group of House Democrats is demanding the administrator of that agency do so. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
10 state attorneys general have filed an amicus brief in a Pennsylvania Supreme Court voting case. They're siding with the Pennsylvania Republican Party in asking that the court overturn a decision from the state Supreme Court allowing mail-in ballots to be received 3 days after Election Day, even without postmarks. Chris Warner joining us now with our first look at weather. A bit windy today.
It was just a bit on the breezy side, and that breeze is ushering in a few changes that we're going to talk about. Our almanac for today, 79 is the high, well above average. Check out our low, though. 61, only 1 degree below what our average high should be for today. No precipitation, but that will be changing. Nothing on the Skywatch storm tracker in our immediate area at this moment, but take a look out west. You can see that cold front. You can see some showers. You can see some thunderstorms. Those will be making their way into the area as the night progresses. We have dipped back down to the upper 60s for most of us across the area. Again, we've got that cold front coming. You can see showers, thunderstorms starting early tomorrow morning, kicking on out, and then temperatures are going to drop. We'll have more details on that temperature change and the rain chances here in just a bit.
All right, Chris Warner, thank you. Joplin Health Department is reporting 2 more COVID-19 related deaths. The 2 patients were a 75-year-old woman, 87-year-old man. City of Joplin's death toll is now 40. The Newton County Health Department is reporting 3 more deaths. Officials there say they were a woman in her 70s, a man in his 70s, also a man in his 80s. This brings Newton County's death toll to 38. Parts of the 4 states continue to report increases in COVID-19 cases. Joplin currently has 332 active COVID-19 cases. That's according to the Joplin Health Department. Freeman Hospital currently has 43 COVID-19 patients. Mercy has 47, their highest recorded. With the increases in cases, we wanted to see where the city stands on a mask mandate, a proposed one. KOM's Caitlin Shive spoke with officials and residents of Joplin on their thoughts.
COVID cases continue to rise as the community continues to live their lives.
As far as the possible cause on the increase, I've looked at the numbers. There's really not one specific thing you can point to.
For Joplin resident Jack Corder, he says he sees a majority of people not wearing masks around town.
Well, I see people wearing masks, but I'd say the majority not really. And that's the way it's been ever since they've had this thing. You see some people wearing a mask. Now, I got the mask sometimes when I say, so I'll wear the mask to go in. And sometimes I'll forget to do that.
But for Grant Testerman, he has seen the opposite.
I do see a lot of people wearing masks. There are a few, of course, that don't want to wear them, but most of the time, a lot of people do, especially supermarkets, bars, restaurants. It's good to see that.
We decided to take a look for ourselves inside the Joplin Public Library and Home Depot, where we found that nearly 70% of people in Home Depot at the time were wearing masks, and more than 70% of those in the library. The increase in cases poses the question of whether the city will impose another mask mandate.
Could the city take up the mask mandate conversation? The answer to that is yes. City Council's been pretty clear on where we are right now. We've shown our willingness and our ability to have that conversation and enter into an ordinance.
Mayor Stanley says they would, however, like to make that decision as a region.
Let's just have the conversation, and then we can all act independently from there. I certainly don't want to feel beholden to a group if I don't agree with the outcome of that. But I think that the first step is just to engage in the conversation. This is the situation. Where are we today? And now how do we want to move forward, or how could we move forward?
In Joplin, Caitlin Shive, KOAM News.
You can find a link to Joplin's coronavirus dashboard with the latest numbers, also information in general, on our website, komnewsnow.com. Well, 4-state communities are finding ways to continue a holiday tradition as we continue to deal with this pandemic going on. KOAM's Zach Dodge has these details.
The sights and sounds of a great parade. They're what let you know that it's finally the holiday season filled with fun and tradition. Something we could all use after a tough year. And two communities are making sure they happen even if they have to look a little different.
This year is a lot about adapting and not just simply canceling events, so we wanted to adapt.
In Joplin, the theme for the 50th annual Christmas parade will be Cruising to Christmas, where the idea has been flipped on its head. This year, floats will stand still, and residents of all ages will be invited to cruise down Main Street and get in the Christmas spirit.
People can be safe in their cars, but still, entities and individuals and floats can enter the parade and have their normal festivities. So to me, it seems like a perfect balance under these extraordinary circumstances.
Pittsburgh is also doing a reverse drive-by parade through Lincoln Park, and they're encouraging a lot of creativity to make it a night that no one will forget.
Whether it's kind of putting on a scene as the people are driving by, or doing more dancing even potentially could be something that is fun for our patrons to see as they drive by. So creativity is definitely where it's at this year.
Pittsburgh's also making all entries free so that no matter what, we can mark the end of the year on a good note.
Just not having it, of course it wasn't an option. This is a tradition.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Neither parade will allow candy or handouts. Pittsburgh's parade will be on November 30th. Joplin's is scheduled for December 1st. And that brings us to tonight's KOAM News Now Insta poll. As you see, we're asking, do the new plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades make you more likely or less likely to attend? You can vote on our website, komnewsnow.com/vote, or use our app on your mobile devices. The results update instantly on our broadcast. We're going to check back on the results periodically during tonight's show. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor one of our 4-state heroes. Daniel Hickox served in the U.S. Army from 2004 to 2005. Native of El Dorado Springs, Missouri, Hickox was stationed in Iraq. We are proud to thank Staff Sergeant Daniel Hickox. He is tonight's 4-state hero. Chris is up next with a complete look at the forecast and a bit later. The Senate Majority Leader talks about the possibility of another stimulus bill.
We saw some breezy conditions. We also saw some mostly then partly cloudy skies as things drifted on through. You can see that on the Indigo Sky Tower Cam, this time lapse here. Of course, Indigo Sky Casino just outside of Seneca, Missouri. So here's what we saw over the last 36 hours of these really nice warm temperatures. We went for 78 on Sunday. We made it up to 79 today. But then these numbers here, they're going to make a return as the top of the chart. So right now in Joplin, temperature sitting at 68, feels like 68, which is a good thing. Dew point, as promised earlier, is on the rise. Humidity is also up. You can go outside and you can kind of smell the rain tonight on the wind. 76% humidity. Temperatures holding into the upper 60s for the majority of us across the area. And taking a wider view, we still have, again, those upper 60s and a couple of stray 70s in there as well. Not too shabby. For the rest of tonight, temperatures are going to be dropping off. Not too bad, though. We're going to get into the upper 60s, maybe some mid 60s in there by the time we hit midnight. And that's about as warm as it's going to get for tomorrow. We're going to tell you why. So right now, not a lot in our immediate area. However, we take a look out to the west. This is the wind shift because that's where our cold front is. And you can see showers and thunderstorms all the way from Great Bend down into Dodge City. Those are going to be making their way our way as the night progresses. So taking a look early in the morning, you see showers, scattered thunderstorms, and you can see what happens. This is noon. And temperatures begin to drop off just a bit. So let's take a wider look at that cold front. Here it comes, parks its way on through here. This is 10 a.m. Tuesday. Ahead of the front, not too shabby, but you can see back behind it, things are cooling off. And that is going to be the case throughout the day for most of us as the temperatures drop behind that cold front. We start with the showers and the thunderstorms. They start to break up a bit. Skies clear out, temperatures make their way down. After that cold front moves through, though, it does clear out behind it, but because of that clearness, we get those colder temperatures moving into the area. This is going into Wednesday night, into Thursday morning. Check out some of what these lows could be in the mid to upper 30s for most of us before warming back up into the upper 50s. So we took a look at this a little bit earlier, but it's always good to take a look again. This is where the temperatures are going to drop over the next 24 hours. Check that out. 60 at 10 a.m., 50 by 4 p.m. 7-day forecast, not looking too bad. These are fall-like temperatures. We clear out for Veterans Day, 60, 64 by Thursday. Rain and a few thunderstorm chances returning by Saturday, but temperatures, they're cold to me. I don't like the winter, but for everybody else, this is normal November temperatures, and we still can't complain, really, this time of year.
As you said, fall-like temperatures.
Fall-like for sure.
Chris Warner, catch you a little bit. Thank you. Coming up, Congress and the economy.
Senate leaders weigh in on Congress's lame duck session. I'm Mike Emanuel in Washington with the latest on Capitol Hill 2 days after the 2020 election results named Joe Biden the next president.
President Trump will lose his special Twitter privileges when he leaves office on January 20th. Twitter saying it allows world leaders to tweet incorrect or misleading statements, though it does label them as such. The company says it does not, however, remove most tweets from leaders that violate its policies because it believes, quote, people should be able to choose to see what their leaders are saying with clear context. But the company confirmed that former leaders are not subject to the same leniency and could have their accounts suspended, even deleted, for rule-breaking posts. Just 52 days remain until the end of the year, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says his focus is on passing another round of stimulus relief before the end of the year. The renewed focus on additional relief comes as lawmakers celebrate Pfizer announcing progress with vaccine trials, even as coronavirus cases continue to rise across the country. Fox News Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel is over in D.C. with the latest on where negotiations stand.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell discussed the possibility of passing another economic stimulus bill despite lawmakers returning to Washington for a lame duck session.
The Senate's going to have a busy few weeks. I hope our Democratic colleagues will finally put aside their all or nothing obstruction and let the targeted pandemic relief, let it move forward.
Republican Senate leaders also weighed in on the election results, even as the Trump campaign maintains the outcome is illegitimate and the president is not backing down from legal challenges.
Our institutions are actually built for this. We have the system in place to consider concerns, and President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
Joe Biden won this election fair and square. Republican leaders must unequivocally condemn the president's rhetoric.
Meantime, Democrats are celebrating Joe Biden's win, though the Senate landscape currently remains evenly divided between Republicans and Democrats until runoff elections in Georgia in January.
I hope, now that the election is behind us, our colleagues are ready to come together in a search for an adequate bipartisan solution, rather than the partisan, stunt voting legislating we've suffered for the past few months.
While lawmakers applauded Pfizer's progress toward a vaccine and stocks surging as a result, the news was tempered by concerns of COVID cases spiking, including HUD Secretary Ben Carson testing positive with coronavirus. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
In tonight's KOAM News Now Instant Poll, we are asking you, do the new plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades make you more likely or less likely to attend? You can vote at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or by using the app, the KOAM News Now app on your mobile device. Here are some results so far. The majority of you saying less likely. Don't forget to vote on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or on your mobile device. Just ahead, a potential breakthrough in COVID-19 prevention.
A leading coronavirus vaccine candidate announces a major breakthrough. I'm Benjamin Hall in London. I've got the details coming up.
We're getting closer to a coronavirus vaccine. One leading candidate has been proven 90% effective in clinical trials, but some local officials throughout the nation say they're worried it might not get to those who need it most. Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall has more from London.
The massive surge in coronavirus cases is intensifying. There are now more than 10 million confirmed cases in the US, with at least 38 states reporting a spike of 10% or more in the past week. Health officials have been banking on a vaccine to end the outbreak, and it could be coming soon. Pfizer announcing Monday their candidate has proven 90% effective in a large-scale study involving more than 40,000 volunteers. And the Trump administration says they're ready to start shipping it to pharmacies as soon as it's approved.
Thanks to Operation Warp Speed, we've actually guaranteed receipt of FDA-authorized vaccine from Pfizer, 100 million doses that we purchased for about $2 billion.
But it's still not clear when the vaccine will be available to the general public. Governors in several states, including California and New York, have said they want to run their own tests to verify no corners were cut in the rush to production, and now say they have concerns the president's distribution plans will leave some people behind.
We need a pathway to a vaccine we can believe in and that people will want to take, which is crucial.
Meanwhile, governments around the world are pre-ordering the vaccine, and the World Health Organization says if timetables are met, it could be available everywhere by spring of next year.
It's time to forge a new era of cooperation that puts health and well-being at the center of our common future.
Officials say it will likely take several weeks for the FDA to review Pfizer's data. In London, Benjamin Hall, Fox News.
Well-known donut chain introducing us to its latest fall flavors. My gosh, doesn't that look good? Might be worth a trip to a location near the 4 states. Your news at 9. Back after this. Still time to vote on tonight's KOAM News Now Instant Poll. The question tonight, do you think the new plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades are more likely or less likely to factor into your decision to attend? Remember, you can vote on our website at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or by using our app on your mobile phone. Here are the results so far. We're going to have another look at the results here in a few minutes. All right. Krispy Kreme is rolling out new donuts for fall, and they don't have a thing to do with pumpkin spice. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that one shot there. The company introducing new caramel-flavored donuts, confirming both a caramel-flavored glazed donut and a salted double caramel crunch donut. Both are going to be available for a limited time starting today. I know some of you say caramel, others of you say caramel. I think we can both agree, though, that stuff looks amazing. You know, that caramel being showered, the donuts rather being showered with the caramel. I like to take a shower like that, personally. Looks that good. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
A social media site called Parler is growing in popularity, but also raising some concerns. I'm Kate Kelly with a look at the app and who's using it.
City of Joplin holding a work session to discuss the results of a survey on the future of the city, plus a special celebration over at Missouri Southern for first-generation college students.
While leaders across the globe are congratulating President-elect Joe Biden, a handful are remaining silent. I'm Greg Palcott in London. That's my story. Coming up.
Parler is a social media network that's being called the conservative Twitter. It was founded back in 2018, but it's grown exponentially, collecting more than 4 million users. KUM's Kate Kelly takes a look at the app and its audience.
Parler has been around for the past couple of years, but lately it's getting more attention. One user in Grove says she sought it out after feeling fed up with social media networks like Twitter and Facebook that flag or block content it deems false.
I like the concept of there being a little more freedom in the discussions or opinions or the sharing of free thinking ideas. And so it caught my eye the other day and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to look into this. So I did.
Parler identifies itself as a free speech and unbiased alternative to mainstream social networks, offering a platform with seemingly little moderation.
Parler says that they do not dictate what a user's content or stream would be, but yet they give the user tools to either mute or block other users, influencers, or sometimes even terms that people don't want to see.
Replies on Parler are literally called echoes, something that can be reaffirming but also dangerous. A police chief in Marshall, Arkansas recently resigned after he posted threats of violence towards Democrats on the site. Slaving says it's important to remember that there are always ramifications for what we say online.
Section 230 is really so important for people to understand, because while the social media companies get to create their own policies and procedures for review of what is and isn't appropriate content, that there are still definitely those legal actions that apply to all of them.
Westcott says she doesn't plan on deleting Facebook anytime soon, but she would rather fact-check things herself.
I do believe in being open-minded, even in my own conservative views. Just because I view things that way doesn't mean I'm not willing to listen or hear or ponder other thoughts.
In Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
Many users on Parler are made up of individuals who have been banned or other social networking sites on other social media networking sites like Twitter or Facebook. At a council work session tonight, City of Joplin officials viewed the results of their listening survey. City Manager Nick Edwards launched the survey earlier this year as a way to hear from residents on the future of the city. Questions on the survey included what is something Joplin could do better, and what would you like to see change in Joplin over the next 5, 10, 15 years. City officials say this survey is just the beginning.
This is important for everyone to be engaged. We're going to have to rally together. We're going to have to come together around this information and have some significant dialogues about how to make the community better. If we just let this sit on a shelf, it's not going to be effective.
Officials say the survey received nearly 1,400 responses. A tree carving, look at that, in Pittsburgh is drawing some attention, and rightfully so. Wow. The tree is at a house at the corner of 11th and North Locust. A company called Carving for Christ out of Neosho, Missouri did the carving for the homeowner. It features a bear, as we're seeing, a raccoon, fox, owl, and a cardinal.
People will turn around, let their kids, sometimes they'll get out and take a look and watch them carve. This was the last couple of days. And other times they just drive by, take pictures. It's so heartwarming to me to be able to see the positive that it's doing in a day when we all need that.
What an amazing job. The company donates part of its profit to charities. They also sell items on their Carving for Christ Facebook page. Day of celebration for several Missouri Southern students, paving the way for future generations. They are first-generation college students. University President Dr. Dean Van Galen is himself a first-generation college student. He spoke today. He says his parents did not finish high school, but were supportive of him seeking higher education.
Here at Missouri Southern, over 60% of our students are first gen. It's something we're really proud of, and it's an environment here that works very hard to help all of our students succeed.
This is the second time MSSU has honored and celebrated first-generation college students. In the days since former Vice President Joe Biden clinched the presidential nomination, congratulations, well wishes, and promises to work together have been pouring in from across the globe, but not from all world leaders. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott explains who is holding out and why.
Heads of state around the world are showing their support for President-elect Joe Biden. One of President Trump's biggest allies, Russia, says it is refraining from commenting until the election results are certified. A stark difference to the Kremlin's immediate reaction when President Trump won in 2016.
Certain legal procedures are coming there, which were announced by the incumbent president. Therefore, this situation is different, so we consider it correct to wait for the official announcement.
In contrast, many world leaders are congratulating Biden after the former vice president clinched the nomination on Saturday. Some, like German Chancellor Angela Merkel, are hoping to repair fractured relations and tackle some of the most pressing global issues.
The United States of America and Germany must stand together, side by side, in handling the difficult coronavirus pandemic, side by side in fighting global warming, and in the fight against terrorism.
To that end, Biden already vowing to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord as well as the World Health Organization. Ultimately, President Putin's spokesman saying when the time comes, Russia is willing to work with any chosen president of the United States.
We hope that it will be possible to build dialogue with the next president of the United States and agree on ways to improve bilateral relations.
Putin joins a handful of world leaders who remained silent after Biden's victory. The others include the leaders of China, Brazil, Mexico, and Turkey. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Okay, so in today's KOM News Answer Poll question, we asked you, do the new plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades make you more likely or less likely to attend? We heard about some of those plans a bit earlier tonight. The majority of you say, 67%, say less likely. If you haven't voted yet, there is still time. Please do vote. You can vote on our website, komnewsnow.com/vote, or use our app on your mobile devices. The final results will be shown over on our sister station, KOM News at 10. A bit later, too much rain.
Tropical storm Eta forces heavy flooding across much of South Florida. I'm Phil Keating in Key West with the details and pictures coming up.
We had a breezy day today, but it was warm, and you could see the breeze blowing the clouds by. On our Indigo Sky Casino time-lapse from down just outside of Seneca, you see we went from kind of a mostly cloudy to partly cloudy to mostly cloudy to partly cloudy to clear, and that's where we sit right now. But that's going to change. We're going to tell you about why that's going to change. So here's what we've seen over the last 36 hours. Above average temperatures. We hit 78 on Sunday, warmed up a whole degree, and made it to 79 today. But that's all going to change. So I hope you enjoyed it. I don't like the winter. I don't like the fall. It's a little too cold for me. But it's going to cool down again. 68 is where we sit right now. Humidity and dew point both on the rise, 76% and 60 on that dew point. Those temperatures are pretty consistent across the metro area as we're still sitting in the upper 60s, and we're sitting in the upper 60s, even a couple of 70s out to the west, as we're still ahead of a cold front. And we're going to tell you about that cold front here in just a second. So you can see tonight, not too shabby. 73, 71, 69 by 10. 69 by midnight. We're looking at upper 60s for lows throughout tonight. That cold front isn't quite in our immediate area yet. It's just off over this way. And that's where you can see the wind shift. We've got the southerly winds that we're bringing in the warm temperatures, northerly winds on the backside of this cold front, and showers and thunderstorms right along it out in Kansas. That's going to be tracking our way as we progress through the night. In fact, there you can see it. Moves on in, bringing some showers, some thunderstorms, and then some cooler temperatures behind it. So let's get a little bit further into the future. 10 a.m. Monday, cold front right in our area. So if you're ahead of it, you're still warm. You're in the upper 60s. But behind it, look at Yates Center, 49 degrees. And once that front passes through, it gets really chilly. So take that look at that, 61, 68 in the morning, 61 by noon, and then it drops. But it clears out. So the sun will shine on the backside of this cold front after it moves itself on up out of here. But behind that, this is midnight Wednesday. Take a look at those temperatures. Upper 30s, could even get a little bit cooler depending on how the airflow works, and then not warming up much. What we are seeing right now, not even going to be the high come Wednesday. 7-day forecast coming up in just a second. Before that, this is the next 24 hours. Temperature drop. Thunderstorms start to move in the morning. By the time they clear out, down to 50 degrees. But it's fall-like, and fall-like is what we're going to see in the next 7 days. We clear out for Wednesday, for Veterans Day, beautiful day, 60 degrees. 64 Thursday, shower and thunderstorm chances moving back into the area by Friday and Saturday, but not doing much to the temperature, staying mild, if you will, staying fall-like, if you will. A good time to get drizzled in caramel with those donuts.
Oh, doesn't that look good?
That looked wonderful, and I think, you can get drizzled in some caramel maybe in the next couple of days and then wash it off in the rain this weekend.
I was just joking about that caramel, getting drizzled with the caramel part.
I think it's a good idea, though.
You would do it.
I would do it. I would eat the donuts, and I would take the caramel. Why not?
Chris Warner, thank you as always. Coming up in sports, Carl Junction football headed to the district championships this week, and I hear from the team as they prepare to face West Plains. After a slow start to the season, the Carl Junction Bulldogs have caught fire and are now in the Class 4 District 5 championship game. Sports Director Jacob Leonard catches up with the Bulldogs as they aim for their first district title in nearly 20 years.
The Carl Junction Bulldogs were 1-4 in their first 5 games this season.
Felt like we were a very, very good 1-4 football team.
We bounced back pretty quickly, I felt like.
Now, those Bulldogs have won 5 of 6 and will play for a district title this Friday.
Yeah, it means a lot to us, especially the seniors, because the last time we've been able to be in this position was our freshman year.
CJ beat Hillcrest 43-6 last week in the district semifinals. Quarterback Alex Baker threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers.
Friday, it seemed like almost everything was working for us. We were running the ball pretty well. We passed the ball pretty well.
He's gotten better each and every week, I believe. He's closing in on 3,000 yards passing for the year. He has 27 touchdown passes on the year, so he means a lot to us.
On the other side, junior defensive end Josh Corey finished with 4 sacks, including 3 solo sacks.
It felt good, just getting off the ball quick, playing fast and physical. That's just how we got it done.
Very well put together kid, runs very well, has a very good motor on him, and it's been, he's one of the keys to us being successful.
Now, Carl Junction turns its attention to West Plains, the only team standing between them and their first district championship in 19 years.
I really feel like there's probably 4 teams in the state of Missouri that can win the 4A state championship, and I believe we're one of them.
Today in weights, actually, I was looking up in our gym at all the district championship things, and the last time we won one was 2001. And, I was thinking, that would be so cool if we got to put our own district championship up there. And it's going to mean a lot if we can finish that job.
Our kids have been there, done that. We just need to go up there and play our best game. If we can do that, I think our kids will handle themselves well.
In Carl Junction, Jacob Leonard, KOAM Sports.
Good luck, guys. Carl Junction CJ Bulldogs going to face West Plains on the road at Friday nights at 7 p.m. Back with more news after this. We are nearing the end of a busy hurricane season, but it's not over yet as Storm Ada lashes South Florida with torrential rain and high winds. Fox News correspondent Phil Keating has more from the Key West.
It's bad. You can't even get to your house, man.
Cars stalled across South Florida Monday as Tropical Storm Ada caused heavy flooding throughout the region. It's the first storm to make landfall in Florida this year. The system drenched Miami-Dade and Broward counties, dropping roughly a foot of rain in some areas and leaving thousands without power. And making matters worse, officials say water is not pumping out as fast as it's coming in, forcing several inches of rain inside some homes.
I tried to turn around. Unfortunately, this is a deep area, so my car just couldn't make it through.
The storm made landfall in the Florida Keys late Sunday night with 65-mile-an-hour winds. It could reach hurricane strength later tonight or Tuesday out in the Gulf of Mexico, before potentially making a second landfall along Florida's northern Gulf Coast later in the week.
We recommend that everyone in areas that are flooded stay inside, wait until the waters recede.
Eta initially hit Nicaragua last week as a monster Category 4 hurricane, devastating Central America with days of torrential rain, which left dozens of people dead. Rescue missions are still underway to locate more than 100 people who remain missing.
The situation is very delicate. It's really ugly. The family's lost everything.
It is the 12th named storm to impact the U.S. coastline this historically busy hurricane season. In Key West, Florida, Phil Keating, Fox News.
New movies and music available to watch, also listen to at home. A run through the list when we come back. DVD and music releases this week include an Emmy-winning comedy, a time-traveling adventure, rock legends, and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a list of new releases.
Don't forget to say hello to your handsome proprietor, Mr. Jonathan Rose.
The Rose family tops the list of what's new in home entertainment. Winning 9 Emmy Awards this year, the complete series collection of the hit comedy Schitt's Creek is available to own on DVD.
Bill, Ted.
For movie fans, the threequel Bill and Ted Face the Music features Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter reprising their roles as the time-traveling rock and rollers on a mission to save the world. Caitlin exploded. What? Catherine Langford and Charlie Plummer star in the horror comedy Spontaneous. They play high school seniors trying to survive a mysterious pandemic that causes students to spontaneously explode.
Ashley, what's going on? You said you were going to call me 30 minutes ago.
The romantic comedy A Rainy Day in New York features Timothée Chalamet and Elle Fanning as college sweethearts on a weekend getaway in Manhattan, thwarted by bad weather and a series of unexpected twists.
Are you guys here for the party?
Pauly Shore stars in the comedy Guest House. He plays a wild party animal who refuses to leave the guest house of a home purchased by a newly engaged couple.
We got one option. We fight.
Available to rent on demand and own on digital. The bare-knuckle boxing drama Jungle Land starring Charlie Hunnam and Jack O'Connell. For music fans, rock legends AC/DC released their 17th album, Power Up. And world-renowned opera singer Andrea Bocelli celebrates the power of music with his new album, Believe. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with video of baby lemurs at a zoo over in Madison, Wisconsin. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.